Hey everyone, hope you're doing great. Ray here with Smith Government Consulting, and today we're going to do a little tutorial in sam.gov. So if you've been around government contracting long enough, I'm sure you've seen this, where you have to maintain this profile and keep it updated every year. I know there are a lot of companies out there who will do this for you, and nothing against consultants who want to get paid for that sort of thing, but if you want to do this on your own without spending several $100s, I'm going to show you how to do it pretty quickly. So I'm logged into my sam.gov profile, and I've clicked on Update or Renew My Entity. I will warn you, there are certain screens in here. SAM does have some confidential information that I don't really want to share with everybody, and I'm sure you're going to feel the same way when you go through yours. So there are going to be some where I'm just going to take my screen and move it away so that we can't see it. And that's just to protect my confidential information. But once we're in here, I've got my SAM login code, I've done the multi-factor, I'm in, renew entity. First thing I'm going to do is, yes, I am an employee or an officer of this entity, and certify that I am authorized to make transactions. And we're going to have, do we want to just update point of contact or the entire thing? And for today, we're going to go ahead and do update or renew my entire registration. Excuse me. And it's going to kind of give you the bullet points of what you're doing if you just want financial assistance or all awards. If you're a government contractor, you're going to want to be selecting all awards. So select. And it does take a little bit sometimes to go through, I guess, millions of records. Now it's found my entity information, Smith Government Consulting, my address, my cage code. If you have to make any edits, that's where you'd be able to do that. If you're just doing a renewal, though, this should all be accurate. And we're going to keep on clicking next. We're going to verify that everything is correct. If it's not correct, that's where you have to go back through and make some changes, whether it's name changes, address changes, etc. But for me, this is correct. Public search. Personally, I don't want to be in the public search. I'm not providing services to the federal government. I'm providing services to other people who are selling to the federal government. So I'm going to exclude myself. That's up to you if you want to be included in that or not. Okay. And now we're going to start with, where we're to start here, basic business information. I'm going to go ahead and hit start. Things we're going to be providing. Again, most of this should already be in your SAM account. I'm leaving all of that blank. Again, for your purposes, you want to drive people to your website, so you're probably going to want to put that in there. And my mailing address and physical address are the same. Start date, fiscal year end date. And now it's going to let us review everything one more time. That's the one thing in SAM is you're always going to have a few different times to review and make sure that everything is accurate. Again, as a company, you're most likely going to be under an EIN. That's what mine is under. And it does star out most of them. And most recent tax year. Today, this is 2025, so we have the 2024 taxes in. I always have to think about that for a minute. And mailing address is also my taxpayer address. Again, if yours is different, that's where you'd be making those changes. And I'm consenting that they're going to double check my EIN with the IRS. And again, one more quick review. If anything's wrong, you would be able to edit it right in here. So we're going to go ahead and submit. And it is going to send me a one-time passcode. I'm just going to pull that up here on my phone. And my email's right here. So technology wonderful. And there's the code. And submit. And now we're going through what your business is, your profit structure, institutional type, organizational factors, etc. Then any socioeconomic type that you have, small business, veteran-owned, etc., you'd be checking off in here. And I'm going to click no, I'm not a disadvantaged business enterprise. And big surprise, one more review. Save and continue. You're going to find yourself hitting that save and continue button quite often in here. I don't have any of those, so save and continue. No, another entity does not control me. And no to that one. Review. And we at Smith Government Consulting do not have any security levels required. Specifically, if you're doing things that find yourself on a military location, on a base, or in a federal agency's office, especially on a service contract, you'll probably want some of those in there of what kind of clearances you have. If you don't have any, don't lie about this. Put no. The last thing you want to do is put that you have one and then find out later that you don't. And you can see what we're starting next. And now we're going to go into the entity registration. So this does have all of your information. You can see it is all starred out, so nothing confidential here is being shown. All about your executive compensation, if there's anything that you have to add into there. And again, it's reviewing everything for me here. Some of you will have different answers in there, so you have to make sure that whatever you put in there does pertain to you. Now, if you're on a GSA contract, you may have had your contract officer or contract specialist, maybe even an IOA during an assessment say, hey, we really want you to add these NAICS codes, and here's where we're going to do it. So I can see I only have one NAICS code on my account. And again, I'm not using SAM to go after federal business. I really have a SAM profile, so I could check on other vendors to see what NAICS codes they have, make sure that everything's accurate, and so I could do things like this where I can help walk someone through it. But for me right now, I'm going to go ahead and add 541618. And I'm going to hit search. So I see other management consulting services. It gets a little funny because typically we're conditioned to see, oh, that's grayed out. In the case of SAM, that grayed out box doesn't mean anything. So go ahead and click add. And now I can see I have it here. And I can switch around which NAICS code is my primary. If you want, you can also remove a NAICS code that same way. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it on here so we can keep going. You do the same for your products and service codes if you have any that you want to put in there. At this point, I'm going to move this over a screen because there is a little bit of confidential information coming up where it's going to go through your annual receipts and your revenue. Same thing, we're just going to go ahead and enter in what we're doing, what our receipts are, and save and continue. And I go ahead and bring that back. If you have any EDI information, especially a products contract where you want the PO portal to go right through an EDI, this is where you're going to enter a lot of that in. Disaster response registry, I am not included in that. For your purposes, you probably want to be. That just means that if there is a national disaster, they have an easier way to contact you. And I believe there's one more little bit of confidential where it's going to have a review, so I'm going to move that away one more time. Okay, there we go. And again, that's just reviewing everything. So it'll review your annual receipts, your revenue, things like that. So scroll to the bottom, save, continue. And now we have our different reps and certifications as the owner, any other addresses, save and continue. And again, if you're doing a renewal and nothing has changed, this is a very quick process where most of it is going to be same. So just save and continue all the way through. But definitely go ahead and make sure that nothing has changed. So you can see my NAICS codes, your business size standards. This is really important if you're a small business. So for these, the size standard is based on the dollar amount, not the number of employees. It's a really important one to know. And again, these are all ones that you can go and read through. I'm kind of skipping through them pretty quickly for the sake of time in this video. So the next section is not applicable because we don't have those NAICS codes. And like I said, I'm skipping through pretty quickly so that we're not wasting a whole ton of time, but these are all ones that you can go ahead and double check. I missed something in here somewhere. Oh. Click on I have read. I am not applying for federal assistance, so I'm going to save and continue. And your point of contacts. And small business profile. And I'm just going to come sneak over one more time because I think it's going to have your annual receipts one more time. And like I said, there's just some confidential information that doesn't need to be shared with everyone. I know a few people who don't want personal information being shared. If you've been following anything in the news lately, you know who I mean. Names don't need to be named. And we're going to go ahead and click Submit. And it's going to send us a password one more time. So let me just grab that out of my email again. And confirm. Okay, now my registration has been submitted to Sam. And now I'm done. Now it's just a waiting game until Sam gets back to me and says, congratulations, you have a new profile. What this is going to do is this is now going to give me another 12 months from today's date. So I will now have until July of 2026. My current registration isn't set to expire until March of 2026, so I just gave myself a couple extra months. There is no fee to do this. This is completely free through sam.gov. So you can see how quick and easy that was. Now again, yours may be a little bit more complicated if you're going through some different changes. If that's you, let me know. I would be happy to walk you through this. We could do a screen share where everything will be done on your side of the system, not on mine, and I'll go ahead and walk you through every one of those steps. Reach out anytime. My email is ray.smith@smithgovernmentconsulting.com, and I'd be happy to walk you through this. Thanks a lot, everyone. Enjoy.